Hey guys, this is Adam with See You Later Leaner, and I am here with a very special guest, Stephanie Arley. She is a IFBB Pro now in the new FitModel category, and I had planned to do this interview with you a while ago, and then it just so happened you got your pro card. I think it was 3 weeks ago
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
And we didn't even get to talk about your City of Lights overall, which was obviously a very incredible feat. Um, but first of all, congratulations. How does it
Thank
feel to
you.
be a pro? Has it set in
Thank
yet?
you. It's so surreal. I started this journey in 2014 and never did I think I want to get a pro card when I first started. It was just more of a bucket list type of thing. I wanted to do one show and then I was going to be done. Um, and then I got hooked. And even while I was still doing my shows, I never thought pro card. I think I was just a little bit, I loved the experience of it. I loved the journey. I loved training for something and setting my mind on a goal. And my goal was always just to step on stage. That was the goal. So for me to get my pro card, it's so like, wow, like icing on the cake because I already felt grateful and just like a winner, just stepping on stage alone, even if I never placed. But yeah, so it's amazing.
Absolutely. 2014. So over a decade of competition experience.
Yeah,
And if I remember right, I think we had started together in 2018 for a brief period, maybe 19, because
yes,
COVID had interrupted us. And back then I was doing the Zoom calls, and I just remember when the Fit Model division came out, I had reached out to you because there were a lot of qualities that stood out because we never really got to, have a season because of COVID, like a
yes,
normal season. And you always showed up. You were always in the Zoom calls. You were like, I don't think you have ever missed a check-in with me, like ever, with everything
yeah,
that you have going on. And when I saw what the division was going to hold from a criteria perspective, you were one of the people I had immediately thought of, like, oh my gosh, this is going to be perfect for you. And sure enough, you got that overall at the City of Lights, which was
yeah,
honestly a very competitive show because the girl who got second at that show ended up getting second at junior national or at USA championship. So
yes,
like it was a head-to-head battle. And I think it's so cool when masters competitors can also win the open overall as well.
yeah.
It's a rare feat, but it's a
It is.
cool feat at that.
Yeah, yeah. I was not expecting, honestly, because I was stuck on second place for years. That going to this show, I was like, I'm probably gonna get second place, and I was okay with that. I was just happy to try a new division. So to
Yeah.
get the overall, I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
And I most definitely
absolutely.
could not have done it without you, uh, for sure.
Well, you're amazing. I think I always consider myself a bodybuilding caddy versus a coach because you guys are the ones that swing the clubs at the end of the day. And I just kind of help with the assist on what club to select in what scenario we're at. And you're just such a great executor. You definitely had some challenges leading into this. It was the first time you had ever traveled by yourself going to Pittsburgh. And
Yes.
I was really glad I was able to be there, you know, on show day because I know that was one of the bigger things that you were kind of worried about. But now, as a pro athlete and knowing that shows are kind of all around, um, how do you feel after now conquering that experience and it not actually messing up, your outcome?
Yeah, now I'm ready. I'm ready to travel wherever.
It ended up not being too bad, right?
It wasn't. No, I think I was overthinking it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
One of the things that I like to ask people when I do these, What's something in your journey, and it doesn't even have to come from me, but even previous coaches, what's one thing you learned that you think really helped you get to the point that you're at now? You know, from amateur, you could have never imagined, but now you're an IFBB pro. But what's one foundational thing of advice you've gotten from anyone along the way that you think has really helped get you to this place?
I think it's to forever be a student of the sport and just be open to change because
That
it's every prep is different. Bodies change. What worked for me in 2014 doesn't work now. So just be open to that and fully trust.
I'm glad you brought that up because that brings me back even between our peak week check-ins for the Las Vegas Pro Am to your check-ins for Masters Nationals were definitely very different. We had definitely gotten even more feedback from other divisions too. Um, and you know that we definitely use different peaking strategies for both. And
Mhm.
you know, one big thing for us, it really came down to glute conditioning and having the right amount and not too much. So, and we really rode that line close. And I think that's a great thing. Always be a student of the game, and you always are. I noticed you've even showed up for some of our team Zoom calls, even on days that you weren't checking in, just because you kind of like to listen and learn.
Yeah.
And you also coach athletes yourself and coach women as well, correct?
Yes, yes. I have a lot going on, so I do try to have a couple clients here and there, mostly my friends.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love that. It's passion driven at the end of the day, and
Yes.
you're really loving, you know, being in fitness, and it's just such a big part of your life.
Yeah, it is. It has been. Yeah, I've been working out since I was 14, so it's been a big part.
That's awesome. Was there, as far as like your journey goes, was there anyone that's like you want to thank that's really been supporting you through the whole way?
In my journey, I guess my husband for sure, he is very supportive. I actually met him while I was on prep. So he knew like that this is what I do and that I'm gonna keep doing it. And he pushes me. He tells me keep going. And there's been times where I'm like, this is my last show. You know, like the during the second week when you're 2 weeks out, that's usually when I'm like, this is my last show. I don't know why I got myself into this. And he's like, no, you're gonna make it. You're awesome. You're amazing. So he's very supportive.
That's so cool. It was great meeting him at the Las Vegas Pro Am because you can tell he really enjoys seeing you do this. Your son definitely
Yeah.
was a big fan. Um, and he gave you a good luck charm on show day that seemed to work pretty well.
Yeah, my son, he gave me a little dino, and I told him I was gonna take it with me to think about him. And yes, I had it with me and I think it worked.
You know, I'm superstitious in a way that I might wear certain shoes or certain things for show day because they maybe brought me luck in a previous show day. And one thing that stood out to me is, you know, sometimes people will do something like that and it seems silly, but I'm like so serious about that stuff. And then I knew you were the same way because when you were posting your photos, I saw your trophy and the dyno together.
Yes.
And it made me so happy because I was like, well, one, I'm not the only one that thinks this way. And
Yeah.
that can really bring you a lot of joy to like have that memory of that photo forever. Because me as a prep coach, I've had a lot of people, you know, go pro and be successful, but I love the uniqueness of everyone's journey. And that's one thing that'll always stand out to me.
Uh,
And so, So what is next for you now that we're pro, we're definitely going to hit the stages. Um, we got some great feedback from Sandy, and we've definitely changed up the tone of our workouts, which I'm so excited about, which you kind of posted about the other day.
Yes.
But what is next?
Well, I'm gonna keep working hard, and like you said, we're gonna do a pro show and see what happens.
Absolutely. It looks like the schedule's going to start kind of being released on a few of the Fit Model Pro shows that are coming out. Um, this division is taking the world by storm. The numbers are really starting to increase a lot.
I'm seeing that, yeah.
And your Masters Nationals was very competitive, and that was definitely exciting. What's one thing you would tell other moms who are maybe looking to get into this?
I would say go for it. It's definitely possible. Um, it can be done in a healthy way. And if you want to do it, just go for it. There's no I don't know, there's everything is possible. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, yeah. One thing that's unique about you is you competed in a non-tested show and you got your pro card, but when you qualified, you basically competed in a non-tested show, and that's amazing. You were able to compete naturally, prove that you're natural, and then do other shows that showed, hey, I am also able to be competitive in a non-tested scenario. And that's just such a huge, milestone for a lot of people to cross because,
Yes.
I just knew with you, I'm like, I know she has what it takes. And I know even morally, like, you never wanted to cross that line. And like you said, you can do it healthily. And that's something that, like, me, you, and Emily are really big on. And
Yeah.
what's cool about you is I've had four pro cards this year, and you were the second one to do it with macros. Actually, you and Nikki were both my macro clients that got
Nice.
pro cards that weekend. But Emily did meal plans, and then Tim did meal plans as well. So I thought that dynamic was kind of fun because there's still people who think that you can't get a pro card by doing macros or it's less possible. But not only did you do it with macros, which people seem to think is, impossible, but you also did it naturally, which
Yeah.
sometimes people. So that's like two things that you kind of proved naysayers wrong on, which is really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing.
Um, so what do you think the most challenging part of this prep was for you?
For me was being because I competed as a bikini athlete for so many years, and just in my head thinking that I needed to be leaner, 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 you know? And then when you would increase my carbs, I would overthink like, oh my gosh, no, I don't know. Should we do this or not? And so I think that was just the mental part of like, I need to be
Yes.
leaner, I think was hard for me. And I think you could tell too, that I was struggling with that a little bit.
Absolutely. I felt like that's where coaching really came in is just I knew you would do it, but just really giving you a little extra assurance there. And that's something a lot of my fit model who have done bikini have struggled with is, even though we can get leaner, it doesn't mean we should.
Yes.
And it's kind of funny. You're seeing a lot of the old stuff recirculate from back in the day where people would say, "Oh, my coach gave me a figure diet," or people are like, "Oh, my coach gave me a fit model diet." Well, diets aren't based on division, they're based on metabolism. And it's kind of funny because you were able to eat a lot and
Yeah.
someone based on seeing your food intake might just say, oh, that's a figure or women's physique diet because your carbs got very, very high for
Hmm.
somebody that's very light in weight. So we really want to match the food to the metabolism, but it's going to make your off season so much better. And I'm really excited that we don't really have to do um, much growing or anything like that. We just get to kind of keep you fit and
Yeah,
active in the off season, obviously improve internal health and make sure, the hormones, cycle back up because there was some degradation during your prep. I think that's something we're going to still see is that, we need to do our labs and just double check and make sure everything's on point.
yeah,
And some people will swing down hormonally in this division, and some may not. It just genetics are really what kind of predict that. But I'm really excited to, keep focusing on your health and really focus on variety in the off season for your training.
yes, I'm excited about that too.
So, um, other than that, I don't think I had anything I wanted to cover. I think that I just think you're amazing. I'm so proud to have you on my team, and you're somebody that I think people have always looked up to as a client and athlete, and you're also busy, so I know you don't have a lot of time, but I know that my viewers are really going to appreciate you being on here and putting yourself out there. And
Oh, thank
hopefully we
you.
can do a few more of these through the off
Yeah,
season and
that would be
just
great.
keep updating people a little bit more specifically about your journey. But I wanted to highlight you as an athlete and a person first.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a great honor to
So,
be on your team. I said, I've told you before that I was watching your videos from before we even started working together. And that's how I knew that I wanted to be a part of your team because I know that you know your stuff and I really am grateful to be in your team.
well, I love having you, and it was such a pleasure to, get that message that we were going to start back up again and do something completely new together. And I think that's what's great is we were just really able to learn together over this process because it was new for me and it was new for you, but that was so
Yeah,
exciting to have that newness together.
same.
So, well, thank you so much for joining, and we will see
Thank
you
you.
guys later, leaner.